This is DSnuff15 and welcome back to another episode of the Late Night Hero series where we spotlight a different playable hero within Heroes of the Storm for each episode. Today we'll be taking a look at Anub'arak, the Traitor King, a melee warrior. Anub'arak is a frontline warrior that has excellent damage output, lane pushing ability, and crowd control. He's able to hold down the bulk of a fight and escape quickly if needed. Additionally, he has two basic ability stuns and one heroic ability stun that can help mitigate incoming damage or immobilize retreating foes. On the downside, he's on the lower end of the melee warriors in terms of overall health pool and health regeneration. He combats this with a shielding ability but can still find himself being outlasted by other melee warriors and needing to take advantage of his mobility. His trait keeps constant pressure on a lane and offers a wide variety of playstyle variations for a melee warrior. Now, let's take a look at those abilities we've been hinting at, and then we'll focus on the talents, tactics, and gameplay during a quick match. His Q is Impale. This will deal straight line damage of spikes that will do a moderate amount of damage, but more importantly, it'll stun all enemies impacted for 1 second. This is his mainline poking ability that will allow him to stun. Sometimes he has enough time to close the gap, but for the most part, it's to try and keep them within your actual melee range or finish them off. It also gives you the ability in the middle of a larger engagement to try and stun multiple abilities to take them out of the fight for a short period of time. This will allow you to break up the flow of the enemy's fight and rhythm, and it'll also kind of put them on their heels ever so slightly. Because whenever you get stunned, it does kind of shift the balance and makes you want to kind of fall back. The downside to Impale is it does have a slightly increased mana cost compared to, say, other frontline warriors. Most start off at 60 mana, and this has you at 65, so it does do a little bit more, and the cooldown is at 12 seconds, so it does have a little bit more of a lengthy cooldown. But it is something that should be used often in a fight, because it does, even if it doesn't, you don't want to consider it as a primary tool to deal damage, it will allow you to survive more damage because it takes them out of the fight for 1 second. His W is Hardened Carapace. This will allow you to gain a shield that will absorb a significant amount of damage, but only over the course of 3 seconds, so you want to use it early and often. It is the kind of thing that you need to make sure it has as much uptime as possible, given the amount of damage that it does prevent you from taking. Like most melee warriors, you do have that ability to kind of prevent or heal damage. I tend to like the ability to heal a little bit more, but this does do a significant amount of damage prevention. You also have other abilities to heal later on through the talent system, but in terms of your basic starting abilities, this is what you're going to primarily use to keep you from keep you in a fight for as long as possible. And the cooldown's only 8 seconds, but that is a 5-second gap that will eventually kind of rear its ugly head, because a lot of more experienced players will see that your health bar will light up blue, hold off on their abilities, and just kind of whittle you down if they can, or they'll just wait for that gap and really slam you, particularly someone like Nova or Vala. His E is Burrow Charge. This will allow you to basically tunnel to a location within a moderate range, pop up, and deal damage wherever you expose yourself. This is a great way to enter or exit fights. So if you want to charge in, briefly stun, or interrupt the enemies that you impact, it's a great way to kind of disrupt their flow and make quite a presence, really. You don't really want to think of it as a true stun, because it doesn't really stun them for too terribly long. It's more of an interrupt, but it does allow you to interrupt their casting or channeling abilities. The other thing about it is it's a great way to exit a fight. The downside, of course, is that it does have a 16-second cooldown, so it is going to take a long time. It also allows you to kind of determine where you want to pop up, so it's not always at the end of this charge path. It's anywhere along that line that you actually can pop up if you want to change your mind and pop up a little bit earlier. This is of great use when you're trying to take mercenary camps, if you don't say want to go all the way to the end of the stun. But it's a great way to enter or exit. It should be your primary mode of locomotion during the smaller engagements. His trait is actually Scarab Host. It's listed in Legion of Beetles. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because everyone uses Legion of Beetles talent on the second tier, and we'll touch on that in a sec. But Scarab Host is his passive ability that every time he uses any ability, it will spawn a scarab or a beetle at his current location that will kind of run the lane and start to deal damage. I'm not sure why he really spawns, because it's a guy. He shouldn't really be spawning anything, but needless to say, it is a valuable tool to allow him to maintain a constant amount of pressure on the lane in which he's currently in. That means that if as long as Abathur is not opposing you, you always have one additional minion in that lane compared to the enemies, which will always kind of push it in that direction. Now, if you go with his actual talent on the second tier of Legion of Beetles, this will automatically spawn a beetle every 8 seconds and doesn't necessarily require you to use an ability. Although if you do use an ability, it will still spawn an additional beetle, so you can really start to ramp up the number of beetles in the lane. And even though they are on a timed amount, it does last for 10 seconds, so you can kind of continue to keep pressure on them as long as you're kind of sort of near the fight. It'll still kind of push them on, and there are talents to buff up the beetles, increase the duration and damage that's done. So it's a great trait, really allows him to do a lot of passive lane pushing, since he's not always going to be able to want to be right in the fray of a laning phase, since he's a melee warrior, particularly if you're opposed to, say, a ranged assassin. His first heroic is Locust Storm. This will basically deal an area of effect around him that will cause damage to enemies and then heal himself. This is great for when you have large concentrated groups of enemies, and this is probably the first choice talent when you see that they have multiple melee either assassins or warriors on the enemy team, because you know that as a tank they'll be clumped up more around you, and you kind of pop this to allow you to soak up a little bit more health passively from it, as well as deal as much damage as possible to as many enemies as possible. When you start to have a group that's going to be spread out with more ranged assassins or more support, I tend to kind of want to go with the Web Blast. Web Blast is an absolutely game changer if used properly. This will take an enemy out of the fight for approximately 8 seconds with a guaranteed hit. So if you target an enemy and you're within range, they will be out of the fight for 8 seconds. And it's wonderful. You know, this can automatically swing a fight. So if you take their tank or one of their supports out, you automatically gain a significant advantage. It also is a great way to escape a charging enemy or hold a retreating one until you can get more help. I love Web Blast. It's an absolute game changer if used properly. So you have to make sure that you target the right enemy, but it is one of those things that when used properly, it automatically turns an even match to a much more lopsided one in your favor. So I love using Web Blast. It's an absolute joy, and when you know that the other person's raging on the other side because they can't do anything for almost an eternity, it makes it that much better. So overall, he's a melee warrior that can be used to fill multiple roles. He has the abilities to support his lower end health pool as a tank, and he can support other frontline warriors with his multiple stunts and crowd control. Additionally, he can aggressively push a lane with the aid of his scarabs. In terms of difficulty, he requires a little bit more micromanagement than the average warrior, and you always had to keep an eye on his remaining health pool to use his burrow charge as an escape plan. And given his escapability, he can stay on the map at a much longer and constant rate if used properly. This, in coupling with his Legion of Beetles talent, will keep constant pressure on the lane, even if he isn't actively attacking, much like Abathur can. So, how about we hop into a quick match and see what we get, huh?
For the Frozen Throne!
And welcome to the Dragon Shire. Shire. Alright, so we have Tychus, Azmodan, Anub'arak, Stitches, and Rhaegar for the good. Against Rhaegar, Sylvanas, ETC, Tassadar, and Jaina. It's like 3 of us on the bottom lane. Gonna push real quick and then I'll move up top. So for our opening talents, we have Extended Spikes, which will extend the range of our Impale ability, giving it a little more length for poke and for just generalized usage. Persistent Carapace, which will increase our shielding. Not a terrible option, but with Stitches here as our front line, I think I'm gonna go with let's go with Assault Scarab. You know, normally I would go with the regeneration build, try and really push that just a little bit more. But I think that what we are going to do... Oh, that didn't go off when I wanted it to. Alright. Oh well. That's okay. We tried. Come on, attack. Come on. Oh no, it's still on cooldown. Oh no. So normally what I would do would be to try and go with a regeneration build and go with a regeneration master. That will allow you to really sustain your health a little bit more. Whoop. Gotcha. See if we can't push this. Nope. Not well, anyway. And given all that they got kind of floating around here, I don't see it going too well. Poke. Now we should have an imbalance somewhere along here. I think it's the bottom lane.
Activate the shrines and the dragon's power is yours.
So I'm not exactly sure. I'm just going to try and hold the lane as best I can. Oh, I didn't get him. What I'm going to have to try and do is loop around while these guys are occupied, because I am not going to be able to make it where I want to. Alright, Tychus, let's see if you can't hurt him. Nope, you aren't going to get to me. Running away, that's how you have to use that. You just have to use it to flee. I mean, that's what it's good for. Try and body block him in here. I'm not sure if it'll work. We can try. There we go, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. Got him. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, nice dash there. You know, we'll just run back and hide. We'll kind of exchange, let Asmodan do what he's got to do. And we're going to go back and get some health, because we're just not going to be as effective as our semi-DPS-y kind of tanky sort of self as we would otherwise be. So now that we have 2 up top, 2 down below, I'm going to head towards the middle and try and either take it or not. So second tier talents, you got to go Legion of Beetles, is just the bee's knees. Thank you for letting me use that 1920s reference. So let's we don't get the shrine. Okay. Other options would be Under King to increase the range and duration of your. I'm sorry, lowers the cooldown of your burrow charge, which isn't a bad option for escaping, but Legion is just too strong. Superiority would reduce your overall damage if you're going for something that can really push the mercenaries. And look at this, because we're down here pushing all these beetles, we are already out of ammo for the towers and really started pushing. Yeah, you can try that if you want, I really don't care. You don't get too much out of it. And see how that stun kind of pushes him back, puts him in a defensive position, really keeps him away. So we're going down to the bottom. Let them deal with all that crap. I would love to have pushed that, but I just don't think that we have the DPS for it. And we really need to get in here. And whoop, pop on him. Body block, body block. Oh, son of a bitch. You are not going where you want to. Ah! Ballsack. Alright, we're going to go head back to the middle. Hopefully we can reclaim it. ETC is kind of hanging out down there, but we'll see. Locust Needles, that'll allow you to do a little bit more AoE. Or I guess some AoE. So let's see if we can't drag him away. I don't think we'll be able to. Nope. I was trying to drag him away and then try and burrow so I could actually get down there and make a difference. But it just was not going to be in the cards for me. Let's stay high on the health. So we're going to try and work our way up here. Maybe stun him. Or get him into a very bad position. There we go. Now we can take the drag. Oh, damn it all. There you go. Get her. This is a real slugfest. I have to admit. Okay, Tychus, get it. Get it. Okay, I'll get it. We'll get it. Someone will get this, damn it. Alright, good kill on Sylvanas. And we're just going to try and push through. So, in this stage, either way, I still think that he is a good option for someone to try and actually take the Dragon Knight. Because he doesn't put out a ton of damage. He does it through longevity more than anything else. But he can still do some damage. I don't think it's a bad option for him. Hunt! Whee! Alright, let's see if we can't get both of these. Excellent. So we're really going to try and push down the middle as hard as we can. Next talent. We're going to look at that later. We got other things going on. And punt again. And let's see if we can't get some more people inside here. Ah, rah, 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 rah. And Rhaegar's going away now. Whee! Boink! Ah! Ha ha ha! Oh, that was a bad choice. Ah. So we're going to try and stick it out here. I don't think we're going to be able to last too long. Alright, it's time to pull back. Time to pull back. Time to pull back. Yep, impale him. And we'll let Stitches finish him off while we head back to get some fountaining. So let's look at our third tier. So we have Shield, Shed Exoskeleton, increase our movement speed. Electrocuting Spines, which will deal area damage, which isn't a bad option. Impale will slow nearby memories. Don't want to do heal. Ooh, well, we're not really going for that. Although it would allow us to do this a little bit better. Let's do that. We're going to go for kind of a mercenary kind of build with this. So we're going to try and work these guys over. And with our healing beetles, it's going to keep us up a little bit higher. So we're going to try and get our merc camps on. I think... What do they have? They don't have too much. Yeah, they kind of do, but I don't expect them to be way in there. I'm going to go with Web Blast. Web Blast to see if I can't try and neutralize some of their guys. They have the same idea, of course. We're going to push these beetles out there because we have the increased damage on the beetles. This will allow us to really increase our overall damage output and ability to kind of force a fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get behind Tassadar as he is going to try and shield out. I got one of them. Ah! Damn it all. Just don't have the pushing DPS and I don't have the spines. Ah, damn it. Oh well, that's okay. That's okay. We did some good work here. We did some good solid work here. We're really pushing the lane. Really forcing it. And you know, with our beetles now doing damage and such. So we're going to neutralize him. Pop up, get behind her. And then deal some damage. And then... there we go. Look at that Rhaegar heal right there. That's what I like to see. Neutralize. Get them out of the game. Reduce the time that he has on his... Ooh, ETC's coming in. We're still going to try and push this line right here. Oh, I missed him. Ah. Alright, Rhaegar's going down. Excellent. I like that. And we need to be heading towards the middle. I'm going to help out Azmodan up here. See if we can't... There we go. Ha ha ha. I like it. I like it a lot. That's what I like to see right there. So, you know, collapsing back to the middle. I don't think Jane's going to stand a chance against all this, but that's okay. And we got our beetles trying to help us out. No. That's okay. We got beetles on the task. We're going to try and lure her back in here, where she can be popped. The other option was I would have charged towards her. I would have gotten a little bit out of that. So we're going to stun. I think that we kind of need to bust a move on out of here. Get us back to a fountain. Where the nearest fountain is. Did we lose our middle? I guess we did. Alright, next tier. Burning Rage. Chitinous Plating, that's what I would go with, typically for my tank build. Symbiotic Armor, that's not a bad option since we kind of got this beetly thing going on. Although Burning Rage isn't terrible either. But let's go with Symbiotic Armor. That'll help us give our beetles a little more longevity. Ooh, ETC, that may not be the best place to go to. Taking my Web Blast. If we can get Stitches inside of here and really start pushing some guys. Shield up. And where are you, ETC? So he's going to be out of the fight. We got nuked out. That's okay. We kept him out of the fight for 8 seconds. Hopefully our guys can kind of stick around, but I don't see that happening. Oh, Tychus with a little saving drill action going on there. Not a bad defensive move. I would have liked to have seen that placed a little bit earlier to try and get an offensive measure out of it so we can try and sustain our push a little bit more. I think I may try and sneak up to the north lane, try and get my beetles pushing on them, get them going a little bit more. Not really sure why we chose the beetle build for this one, but it seemed interesting. And since Stitches should be taking the more tanky kind of build, you know, it'll balance out. You know, I think that he's a good off tank in this situation. He can still be a primary tank, of course, but in this case, will be a nice little off tanking option. So let's get in line. Ooh, they got a big old group of people. Try and get as many people in there as possible, and try and do as much damage as we can. It would be nice if we had that AoE ability now, but we got a bunch of beetles inside here. So that'll help us out. We're just going to do a little bit of some passive damage. Try and knock these guys out of the lane. Oh, they got this. Oh yeah, I guess I should have been going for some of the mercenary camp, shouldn't I? Oh well, that's okay. Time to run. That's the one. That's something that he is really good at. He can run, if nothing else. Son of a bitch! There's a wasp in here. All right then. Well, that's gonna make casting just a little bit more interesting now, ain't it? Alright. Well, they are pushing this lane. Of course, with Sylvanas really trying to do a little bit more. I'll try. At least I don't have to worry about a wild Nova appearing. I still like to go blood for blood. I think this is a good all-around talent, regardless of what your build is. Aha! I got out of there. So I think that that's a great way to try and really push some damage, really increase your sustainability. I think it does everything for you. I think that if that's an option available to your character, I think that it's a good thing to pick. I just think it's a good option to go with just about nearly any situation. So I like it. I think that in particular when you start using it against oh shit, I thought Tycho was in there. When you use it against a tank of the opposite team, you can really get some damage done and really regain a lot of health. So we're going to try, and I think we're going to go north lane this time. Yeah, you thought you were a little bit stronger, but nope. And we still got our escape button. So, I got her too. So I'm going to try and let these guys do some work while we let some beetles get some health. And then, with any luck, alright, someone needs to stop body blocking me. Oh, you thought you had it. You do not. Alright, let our beetles do some work. Increase the lane. Good kill. Good throw by Azmodan right there. So we are going to keep this all queued up. And they are going to not make it in here in time. So we're going to take the... Oh, damn it. Nope. I would go down there, but I don't think that's the wisest option. I'm actually going to come back here, get some health. By the time we swarm down there, we still have a 2-man advantage. By the time we swarm down there, we will actually maintain this. We don't want to overpopulate one area, and I'll get this. Assuming Rhaegar doesn't interrupt me, which is a possibility. Come on, there we go, unleashing. We are actually going to go up top because I want to actually stay out of the way. And we shall start going this direction and try and get a nice attack on multiple fronts. Whee! Boink! So, and the good thing about using, let's see if I can't kick him out of the map. Nope. Okay. The good thing about using this, if used properly, and I don't know why we aren't pushing more lanes. I'm going to try and kick him out. Is the great thing about Nubarak, get the hell out of dodge. And then you have a nice little escape button for you. And we need to regroup with the team. Try and not let them get just demolished. Come on. There we go. I didn't get the kill, but that's okay. Oh! Always going invisible. Just when I'm trying to do something. Alright, so we were going to go get some mercs like we had promised that we would. So, alright. Boink! And pop up. Get 2, get 3, and then let us heal, and then we'll kind of push this just a little bit faster. Although ETC is kind of doing some damage on our guys, but we'll hop back into the fight once that's all taken care of. Now the Asmodance here, this is going to be easy. Although, I don't know where that minion decided to run off to. There we go. Excellent. So we get that. And then we'll go back to the next one. Start working on the... Oh, no, we're not. We're not going to go and do that. Whee! And he got shunked. Oh, he got all kinds of gobbled up.
Remove this hero from the fight.
No, at least we got Rhaegar out of it. Oh, he's out of there. No, sir, you chose the wrong time to do that. Nope. Boink! Ha ha ha! Oh, I love that. He has great chase ability as well for his burrow. Alright, so we need to kind of give ourselves some time to kind of build up our health a little bit more. And get our cooldowns all situated. But I think that we're going to fall back, get another siege camp, and then let them do the work for us. So, tier 20. Or not really tier 20, but talents for 20 level. You can go Crypt Weave to increase cast time. I don't think that's absolutely necessary unless they're just able to, they're really coordinated, able to punch through. Hardened Shield, if you are trying to, if you're really tanking, that's not a terrible option. Hive Master is good if you have already invested inside the, what is it, the Locust Swarm. But I'm going to go with Rewind so we can really push some abilities really quickly. I'm also going to give someone else a chance to do that. I think Stitches would be a good option for that. Oh, no. Let's head north. Ooh, let's get us a free kill. And we're going to go ahead, try and body block if we can. There we go. Try and stay ahead of him. Try and stay ahead of him. And then got him again. Then we're going to try and stay ahead of him. You son of a bitch. You need to die. Tassadar, you need to die. Of course we're against 3 men. Well, he's just going to run away. I have to, you know, I don't like an enemy to run away, but I have to, you know, give him props because he did a masterful job of trying to evade us. I mean, he just did. He used his cloaking ability to his full advantage, I must say. Oh, Silvana, you're so silly. Think you can get away. No. So I thought about going after the kill and trying to contribute in that way, but I figured that sticking that out is going to be a little bit more important otherwise. Come on, Stitches, get her, hook her, hook her. Nope. Not enough. That's okay. He tried. He did a fairly good job. So we definitely have control, but I would really like to do a little bit more of a push before we get to their Storm tier talents. If we could help it. I'm not exactly sure if we can. Oh, nice. And got the kill with the lifesteal. Well, I get silenced. That's okay. Alright, actually meant to reset my cooldowns, but, you know, I'll take what I can get. Not picky. Really unleash a bunch of beetles to heal me up. And they're doing some work down there as well. Shield, more scarabs, some beetles. Get them all out there, even though I'm a guy. Shouldn't be able to actually spawn anything. Well, even as a C-Force, you can't necessarily do that. But, you know, whatever. We'll go with what the game wants to go with. So you can see how I'm able to use the rewind ability to, you know, really push out a lot of beetles in this case. You know, in conjunction with the locust or the locust swarm, I'm really able to try and push that out just a little bit faster. So they are unleashing that down there, but I think that this is gonna, you know, seal the deal for us. We got their healer and their tank down, where we got the dragon off. It's just game over. So that's a good look at what Anub'arak can do in terms of an actual DPS ability. And we'll just die real quick to try and keep him away from the real DPS. So that was from a DPS sort of lane pushing ability. You can kind of see that we were able to push the lane, particularly towards that middle portion. Towards the end, they do kind of lose their viability. And could have gone with an extra beetle talent towards the end as well, but I decided not to. Just to kind of showcase a little bit more. But let's take a look at the stats. See, we got a lot of experience on that. We were up there. We got a good bit of siege damage. Whenever you have those the beetles really out there and doing some work for you, they can really try and push some stuff. And they'll just auto damage for you. We were third, but not by much in terms of hero damage. We did a lot of stuns, got a lot of great work on them. Of course, I tried to maneuver myself for a lot of body blocks and saved up the burrow charge to make sure that I could try and actually keep them from keep the ranged DPS from escaping. So people like Jaina and Sylvanas, or at times Tassadar, as well as it would have worked, try and keep them at bay. And then in terms of XP contribution, we're right in the thick of things, other than Asmodan, who was, of course, just pushing and pushing the lane. So all in all, that was pretty good. And look at the talents that we went through. We went through a pretty beetle-centric build. I believe it's the symbiotic armor. We could have gone with no, not that one. Blood for Blood. We could have gone with a different beetle talent there as well, probably. But Blood for Blood, again, is just a good, solid, all-around talent to use, either tanking or DPS. So that's a quick look at Anub'arak. But it'll wrap things up for this session of Late Night Heroes as well. Please feel free to leave any comments below or message me directly. Of course, I appreciate any likes, favorites, or subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to suggest a hero for the next episode. This has been DSnuff15. Thanks for watching, and we'll try and do better next time.